Okay. Um, like I said, I'm gonna make as many videos as I can before I can't. Uh, you know, a few videos ago, yesterday, I talked about the repetitive terms and things they try to they use to get you to accept a false reality, right? They go over and over, and that's meant to kind of psy up reality and torment you in a very nonsensical way. 2 seconds ago, I don't know if you can hear this right now. You can hear like a ice cream truck, right? Ice cream truck correlates to kids, so they're gonna do something pedophilia centric. Matter of fact, I think the ice cream truck purposely plays so they can do some kind of things, and then he's like, oh, you see, you proved it. One thing they've been doing is something in my mouth where I do this grimace, this face, and it's my tongue going against the top of my mouth. And we do that all the time, and I have connected that to the pedophilia type of torture. And one of the repetitive terms they say is, oh, they're gonna rape you, because they want you to really identify what just happened, which is obvious that is just nonsensical. To think of it, oh, you see, that's proof. You did this. So it's proof, right? And you hear noise campaigning, and every time my tongue just goes up like that, they try to create some pedophilia things, and because they've correlated that to pedophilia, and so now it's the things they do. So in this video, I want to talk about this. For example, you heard this nonsensicalness that I just mentioned. There's two things they do. They use repetitive terms, which I talked about it, and they use tonalities, right? I've talked about it too. Let me go with what they say. I've talked about it a little bit yesterday, but I kind of missed a few things. I talked about, they like to say black girl. When they say black girl, they basically say that they matched to how you see black girls. It would be how you used to see it when you were a kid. And so now, when you see black little girls, this is you. We matched it. We connected to you when you were a kid. Matter of fact, right before I came here and make this video, perps tried to create a psyop, create a false reality, right? These people obviously are in a program where they are trying to break the target individual. That's what they do. That's why you see me making thousands of videos about the same thing. Manipulating memories, manipulating your thoughts, forcing you to experience disgusting thoughts right now because of this ice cream thing. They still try to do some pedophilia things. And as you see what I did with my mouth, that would turn into some pedophilia things. And so they use this repetitive term, for example, black girls, like you see black girls, they knew, which is another terminology. Black girls that's proof. Black girls, that's you, black girls. And they're gonna repeat that all the time, right? Then, because first of all, I'll never subscribe. I know this is what they do. They do the pedophilia type of torture. Then they start going into what I just said, the different type of tortures that they say you're gonna experience. I talked about castrate, rape. They're gonna rape you. They're gonna castrate you. Your eyes are gonna be ripped out. Your arms. What else here? They're waiting for you. They'll hang you. And so on. And I think I'm gonna forget something here. So different type of like you'll burn. They'll film you being burned and tortured and all of that, right? And those are said when I don't subscribe to these things. For example, you hear this ice cream truck, the music, they start doing some things, and then they're gonna yell at one of these things here. Oh, you'll burn. Oh, they'll castrate you. They this and that because they want me to identify with what's being forced on me to experience. It's part of these things. They want you to break down. As I'm speaking, every time I move my tongue, it feels uncomfortable because they have created this disturbing correlation, my tongue to this pedophilia type of things they do. So when I even talk and I'm expressing myself, I'm doing this thing because also they dry up my tongue. It feels weird. They dry up my tongue and my mouth. It's like something's happening. And sometimes I feel my teeth are decaying. I just like brush my teeth pretty seriously. And if the texture feels less worse than before, but sometimes it's just like intense. And so They do this thing with my tongue sometimes where they dry it up, and I'm like, I need to like try to adjust it, right? But they try to connect that with these peripheral things. You understand how little and stupid things are, and then immediately start talking about this torture I mentioned. What does that sound like? Conditioning. Training your brain to I just did something with my lips. Conditioning to connect things like that to drive you to insanity. But they use these scriptive things. Now, what are the things they say here? Um, they say they are, right? What you're experiencing is something that we've seen and you experiencing maybe when you were a kid, or what you experience is something that we connected to you when you were a child, and like try to find things. You know, I don't know if I said that before I made this video. Somebody literally say, we connect with pedos. I'm like, oh. They are the pedos, and they're the one forcing people to experience these disgusting things. They work for entities filled with pedophiles, but they use these childlike people. At least they try to present themselves as childlike. Well, I've seen some childlike individuals, and I know they are actually childlike individuals. I don't know if some of them are just all the time, or sometimes it could be bots, but it could be automated. But there's actually childlike individuals, and so you know that, you know, especially when you listen to Rob and Doc, and you hear the other people say, "Oh my," it feels like some of them like 14-year-old playing Xbox. Of course, it's not that. They might be involved because this technology is extremely sophisticated that children can be involved in it. As I say, children, they even try to do some things. I don't know if you, sometimes the V2K, you can hear the noise, but I don't know. But sometimes they use children. I say the word children, and as I say children, I beat my lips. They start creating some kind of noise campaign to try to condition me to see that as proof. It's like, you see, that's where you say children. They make me react certain ways to create a conditioning tactic, to restructure you in these ways. It's creations and training your brain to start seeing and experiencing things and accepting. Like I mentioned, they do this thing where they pattern you, and then they repattern you with these little things that you like, just weird. And even I say little things that just turn into something else. Made me bite myself. So nasty. They do these little weird manipulations in my mouth, biting myself, biting my tongue. So delusional. And doing some weird, uncomfortable feelings. And I say little things, and it's like, oh, but you know, they try to connect it. Remember when you said like this little thing would do nothing? Like, they try to create these things, and I know that what I'm saying is, I'm trying my best to organize my thoughts, because as I'm speaking, they're trying to create these battles. Other things, I said there is, but in fact somebody just said that in order for me to accept this subscription of pedophilia they do to people, right? I talked about they're waiting for you, so they're gonna frame me, and whoever's gonna do these terrible things to me are waiting for you, so subscribe to this. You understand? So nasty. They say they like to say these people who gonna do these things to me are very strong. We dared, you know, they like to sound like, oh, we dared to do this, we dared to do, you know, like we're darers. They don't, this is not daring. They are very systematic. They are very systematic. What they're doing to me is something they've done to others. Same system, same tactics, repetitive, try to create false correlation, create manipulation of thoughts, and create things that just makes no sense. It's just so bizarre in your head. But I have to find ways to calmly try to explain how is experience. But I'm gonna make videos as long as I can express myself. You'll bleed. They will see this. The one thing they like to do, like, they make me imagine, for example, my coworkers are perps. As I'm saying that, they do something. My coworker is their perp, and they bring the little babies while I have like Zoom calls, and then force me to experience disturbing imagination and sensations. And then when I'm on the call with these people, they make me imagine some disturbing things with their babies. And then they're like, oh, these people who are going to do horrible things because you're going to be framed are saying this. It's like, okay. You understand what they try to do? They try to make you identify with these manipulations. You got to be strong. This is pure tactics of manipulation and breaking people down. It's disgusting. But this is about what they. Oh, for example, they say they knew. They knew that this was going. They knew that black little girls. This is what you're going to experience. Like black little girls will force you to experience these things. When in reality is they knew that they're going to manipulate me to experience this pedophile type of torture. They knew that these things are going to be experienced because they are going to be manipulating me to experience this. This is the way they try to make you accept this illogicalness. Now, that's their job. You got to understand that. Their assignment is to not be logical, but break you down and make you accept this illogicalness. That's what they call it being at war. Because they think, well, in the reality, they know it's not war, but I'm just a subject. There'll be other subject they break down like that. But they think that they are at war because it's like a way to make themselves believe that they can do this because it's war. It's not war. I'm a human subject. They are the perps that the government have contracted to do these nasty things toward civilians that are subjects. It'll never be war. You hear who's talking, it's like, okay. But they say these things non-stop, repetitively, every day. Same script, same terminology, over and over. But they also use tonality. The way they say those things comes in different tonality, and you hear them trying to sound in different fashion. They use different, like some of them, especially early on, they whisper, it's like, he's gonna kill you, he's gonna rape you, they're gonna castrate you. That's how they sound. I understand they try to have this tonality that is menacing. This is what these people, these perps, try to sound like. You see who's talking, you're like, oh my goodness. This is via this technology that can force you to hear their voices remotely. I know this is what they do, and then you see who potentially talking to you. You're like, oh my gosh, this is. You hear that like menacing voice, and then there's like this voice of try to sound very like logical. You know how you can just, he's and try to be like very systematic and analytical. I don't know if I can mimic it properly, but they just try to say, oh. Yes, there is. Yes, we matched it. Yes, like they're truly like analyzing this. Yes, connected. Yes, we did. Yes, it's just like okay. Try to sound okay. You see the way I sound. Like I'm really like trying to put things together to connect and figure you out. They're just manipulating you, and then when things sound too illogical, they're quiet, because they're supposed to sound like the very logical, analytical people. When in reality, it's just like they're supposed to be forcing you to accept to accept this accept, you see how this make you accept this false reality, right? It's like, oh, you see. And then when you say something that's too logical, it's like he's conning by using a voice of logic, of analyticalness. He's conning, he's a con, he's lying. Then you hear like almost all talking, like then he goes quiet for a while, because I just bring up something of what they do. It's so systematic, I don't even have to say it. Everything I can make somebody else say it. I can bring a testimonial, can be brought up and say what I'm experiencing. And then he gets quiet, he just waits for a moment again where you forget that. Then it goes back, yeah, it's you. We matched it. Yeah. And then try to make you give you the feelings, try to make you think you as a kid. It's like, yeah, it's you. When you know this person is literally in the program that's frying, killing, torturing kids, right? But he wants to sound like, forget about that part. Oh, forget about we do the pedophile type of torture, the conning. Oh, forget about that you said that in 2020. For example, I was listening to the manipulation of my memories in my video I just made not too long ago. And I have two phones. I'm looking at the phone where I'm listening to this new video, and I'm listening to my video in 2020. And I'm like, literally, this is 3 years difference, a little less than 3 years. And I was not talking about this. And I was not talking about that specific moment. And I'm listening to those two videos in 2020 and 2023. Now, I was just saying the obviousness. They do this type of manipulation. They give you sensation, stimulation that you weren't experiencing in your memories, manipulating your memories. Today, I'm saying the same thing. It's not magical. I was not being predictive. I was just saying what I'm experiencing. And I'm looking at today. I'm saying the same thing. So you understand, they use the same patterns of tactics. Like the patterns are just obvious. Right? And then you can hear him like, oh, you're conning, you're con. You understand? And then he just get quiet when it's just too illogical. That's one tone. Then you hear like a childlike agitating voice. We are. Try to sound like to agitate you, right? This is a tonality of like try to make you annoyed. Oh, he's gonna rape you. Like try to be like funny about it. Try to try to agitate you. Oh, it's not fair. Once is not a term to kind of agitate me. Try to get you to. It's like, yeah, they're gonna kill you, and then he won't. And we're gonna watch it. They're gonna film you, and then film you being tortured. You're gonna scream. You're gonna bleed from your eyes. Things like that. They say. And then he won't. And goes back, right? That is supposed to be agitating because you hear this childlike individual who doesn't know what I believe is a real actual person. I don't think it's a bot. But I don't think it's like automated. They said before, I used the word bot because they have said, oh, this is our bot. So I'm like, okay. But I heard that Robert Duncan also has talked about it, like this being automated, so like a bot like thing. So I don't know, but I think that these people, a lot of those V2K, a lot of it is it's actually individuals, but also I know they mix it up a little bit where sometimes it's an actual person, sometimes it's not an actual person. So but either way, I know that it's childlike individuals interacting and try to sound agitating, annoying me, saying, oh, it's like saying, I'm trying to like mimic them. Oh, we're mean. I'm mean. It hurts, right? It's just things to annoy you because it's supposed to break you down and annoy you. Now, I know there's some actually childlike individuals who sound like that have heard talking. And you're like, oh, phew, Jesus. But when you hear them in person, it's just different. It sounds like, oh my gosh, you could like literally cry over nothing. Like somebody could call you stupid and you'll cry. Extremely vulnerable, which I think is part of the annoyance because like you are not, you could be like suicidal 2 years from now. One of the same person said something about she'll regret it in 10 years, meaning whatever's going to happen to her is going to be in 10 years. I don't know what that means. So basically she's saying she's going to die very young. So there's that voice, and then there's this woman, this menacing sounding, or try to sound menacing. She kind of sounds sickly. And she's like, oh, we're going to kill you, and they're going to be watching. And she sounds like a mixture of menacing and sickly. A combination of that. And she just tried to be, oh, they're going to do this and that. They're going to torture you. They're going to do this and that. They're going to kill you. They're going to rape you. They're going to do that. And like, try to, and after doing these things, she's no longer too much, like I don't hear her as much, but the worst part is when they would do this peripheral type of tormenting at night, force me to have disgusting dreams, and then and I wake up and she'll be like, oh, they're going to do you, they're going to do, and I'll be like, oh, that's so disgusting. That's the tonality to get you to feel scared. Like, oh my gosh, what I just experienced, what kind of dream was that? because they've manipulated and modulate those dreams. They force you to experience dreams, and it's part of this conditioning tactics. It's disgusting. And then there's like a like young woman try to be like just relaxed, like you'll scream. They'll abuse you. They'll torture you. It's abuse, right? This she's trying to sound like I'm so calm. Look, I got it together. Right? You see who's talking is just like, and they're like, oh, they abuse, because they want you to think. Remember what you did as a kid? No, this person saying they abuse. There's another program that is abusing and torturing children, right? Burning kids, radiating them. Obviously, you know that. Obviously, you know what they do. Obviously, so when you hear her try to be like all like calm and speaking and trying to sound like this, they abuse. It's you. It's like, listen to me. They're gonna hurt you. Like that's supposed to be like when they do this perfect type of torture and say something like that, I'm supposed to be like, oh, God, it's me. That is what they're trying to do. When in reality, it's like, oh, I know you guys do the perfect type of torture, and I know you do actually abuse and torture children all around the world. Why do you think I was saying that? I know. Now, whatever's going to happen to me, I know why. It's because I was put in this program by my employer. And we know that there's something, this skin color, yeah, had to do with me being in this program. They try to counter that with their manipulations of reality, as always. And I know that once you're in this program, they're going to destroy you. Life is basically destroyed. I don't know. Majority of stories I've heard about target individuals don't end well. Vast majority. And so I expect that. So you hear that voice, and then you hear it's like this fake woke like person who's like, it's like kind of annoying woke like voice. It's not real. It's like, and they have all the what I'm trying to finish here with is tonality with those scripted terminologies are used to try to create this false reality, this psyop. There's even people like they're not V2K, right? It's not via V2K. I can hear them in the hallway scream, "It's you! Oh, they're gonna rape you! Ha 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 ha!" Like in the hallways, they are in the hallways. This is not something they used via the technology, but you can hear them in the hallway screaming for no reason. Now, obviously, I know what they try to talk to me and say. After they make me experience something, they say, oh my gosh, they're going to kill you. Oh, my God. And you know that these people are contracted by the government to do these horrible things to people. They could be doing this to a woman with children. You understand that? That is her job. They force you to think in this way. Open the door. Oh, my gosh, kill him. Something like that. Or they're going to rape you, you're abused. Or they open, you molested. There's people in the program who actually molest via this technology children. Sexual torture is applied on babies. 3-year-olds was testimony of 3-week-old testicles hurt. That's what the kind of things they're involved in. And this is not a different program. This is this governmental research and development program where they experiment on human beings to improve and develop this technology. And the civilians around you are contracted to implement this torment. And it's non-stop. And it's obvious that this level of organization, resources, technology can only come from an entity such as like the DoD and technology from DARPA. There's no other way to even, like, there's no escapism. I mean, like, their fantasies is just like, whatever. So this is always to try to break you down and accept this false persona they've tried to make you accept. There is nothing I can do about that. The reason why I'm making videos is because I know maybe there'll be a time when I'm no longer here and I feel like it's my duty to speak about it, because when I'm not here, at least there'll be some kind of record, some kind of, that's not my word, testimonial of of what happened to me, and maybe somebody can go through it and see what they actually about. Because once you understand what these people do, it's not as effective. It doesn't stop what's going to happen to you. This technology can override your brain. This is extremely sophisticated technology that can override your thought. It's pure mind manipulations, modulations. That is, I don't know if the helmet or something will change that. I don't think so. But I understand that this is a technology coming from entities such as DARPA and DoD. So me as a civilian, what can I do against that? The resources apply, I understand. But my goal is to continuously make my videos, so when the day comes I'm no longer here, I've done my part, and I feel like this is dignified to go. Dignified way to go. We're all gonna end. We're all going to die. Reality, death is gonna come for all of us. This childlike individual who's saying, whatever she said, matter of fact, another word I just heard this childlike saying, hey, it might be. She was trying to talk about something with this woman and try to come up with, we're doing that for her. She's in a program that is killing and raping women in a way that is so systematically unbelievable. But a child like that, was somebody who sounded like a child, saying that in 10 years I regret, that makes her like a young adult. She says she's going to die as a young adult. Death is going to come. This is a dignified way to go. I'm thankful that I didn't end up doing the things they do, try to sound a certain way, saying some scriptive, repetitive terms in a program that is killing and raping women and torturing children, and try to block and come up with a psyop to counter reality. So all my target individual, stay strong and know these people are trash and low lives that will get theirs. Death comes to all of us. When they tell me, oh, then you're gonna die. So okay, and then, or even that, before that, you could actually be dying. You could actually die before I die. Some have already. Tell me about my death. Participating in my death. Died before me. So what do you, then you'll die. I understand you're supposed to make me feel anxious about it. This person who's telling me it won't happen to her, she won't, okay. She doesn't know her death. She said 10 years, then 10 years is nothing for a kid. To all my target individuals, yes, justice will be done for this nastiness they do to people. It's obvious. I'm not a magical being. Sometimes they make me feel like, oh my gosh, she's such a genius. She's such a oracle. Because I said the obvious. Dedicate your life and time into this nastiness, living this gimmicky life, working for entities that does these things. Guess what? You are, they warn me about what's going to happen to me. I think they get warnings of different nature. Warning that they'll try to make me accept this pedophilia type of torture. Guess what entities have problem with pedophilia? The same entities contracting these low lives. This trash calling me pedophile are not only the people who do the pedophilia type of torture, but the entities that contract this trash filled with pedophiles. And now they send these childlike individuals to try to counter that, because her childlike ways of saying that, her childlike way of saying things is going to counter the reality of things. Of course it's going to come back. I know this child is just a bottom feeder. I know. By the way, as I say, they feel pedophile, as I did that, they make me bite my inner cheek. It's like, you see, that's proof. And then they do something with my tongue. You see, that's why they make the noise campaign. Because my tongue went against my palate. Not my palate, but against the top of my head. But something else, they said, you'll scream. And this is the childlike individual saying that. And she's like, then you'll die. These people say these things to try to break you down. Now, when I hear that from a child or somebody who sounds like a child who tells me that they're going to die in 10 years from now, I was like, oh, man, so I'm going to live older than you? That's terrible, but I'm glad that they do these things. I'm sorry, but you have to understand, these people do these horrible things to people, including children and women. Of course, whatever is going to happen to them, they don't know yet. But they'll be reimbursed. I've said it many times. I've seen things happen that was just obvious, and they happened. I said, okay, you did it. Wait, well, okay. You see me scream and die. Did you live longer? Okay. Did it change how you're gonna die? Okay. They don't know that part. My point is that's their job to break people down. That is what they're signed. They're unlucky in the ways that they don't understand yet. I understand me. I'm gonna suffer because I'm in target individual, and these people I think just get kind of tired and mad that I'm saying things that are just too logical, because they have to dumb themselves down. So as before I wrap this up, I just want to say, target individuals, find yourself blessed and lucky. Death comes to all of us. You could have been living their life and then die. Some of them are very young. I'm sad for them. Actually, I'm not sad for them, but it's sad. It's pathetic, to be honest. So to all my target individuals, stay strong and know that justice will be done. And when I say justice will be done, is for what they've done to people, for what they've done to you, for what they've done to those vulnerable people around the world. Justice will be done for claiming that they're gods, that to manipulate people to think in these ways and to be such a cowards.